Health anxiety and reassurance seeking. Let's talk about it. So, lots of you here who have health anxiety will know that we seek a lot of reassurance when we have health anxiety. Now, we do this because it feels good in the short term, doesn't it? When you speak to your husband, your wife, your mum, your dad, your best friend, whoever it's going to be, and they tell you that everything's fine, you're going to be okay, and you go, you breathe a sigh of relief and you feel better for a little bit. And I want to stress the fact that it's only for a little bit. And this is the problem. Reassurance seeking feels great in the short term. It alleviates that anxiety, that panic. You feel a bit more regulated, but it always comes back. So then you end up seeking the same reassurance the next day, and the next day. And it becomes almost like this addiction to seeking reassurance and external validation. And whilst it does help in the short term, what we've got to think about is that in the long term, it's making us less and less and less resilient. And not only that, but it also really puts a strain on relationships. It means that we're back and forth to the doctors all the time. So the consequences of this constant reassurance seeking are not good things. And the thing is that the more reassurance that we seek, we actually end up becoming a bit immune to it. It's almost like it doesn't have the same effect anymore because we're so used to hearing, yeah, you're fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. And so ultimately we get to a point where we'll seek reassurance and then an hour later, we're back to square one. And I get it because I was exactly the same. In fact, my reassurance seeking was completely out of control. I was seeking reassurance from literally anyone who would talk to me about it. And I was also quite sneaky and subtle with the way that I would seek reassurance. I would sort of try and play it cool, but every conversation that I was having with people was ultimately me trying to seek some sort of reassurance. And all it did was keep me in that loop of worrying. You know, it just keeps us in that cycle. And we cannot possibly stop worrying about whatever's on our mind if we are constantly seeking that validation from other people. So I know it's really difficult because, don't get me wrong, I've been there and I know how nice it feels when somebody tells you that you're okay. But we do want to try and work on this if we want to get better with our health anxiety. And I always tell my clients that what we want to try and do instead is to try and seek comfort. You can seek comfort and support from your loved ones and say, hey, I'm having a bad day today. You know, I could really do with a hug. I could do with some distraction. It would be really nice if we went for a walk today, but try and step away from that constant reassurance seeking because it does not work long term.